Now the question is, are there going to be that many buyers? Are there too many sellers? How valuable are your pieces? This is another thing that doesn't come up all the time because everyone gets caught up in their own bubble. Bobby McMann, what is he really worth league wide? I
That's a
don't know.
great question right there.
How much do
It is.
people really die for Bobby McMann? I know he plays on the top line here. On a cup contending team, he's nowhere close to a top line.
Put Bobby McMann, do an exercise. Put Bobby McMann on a bunch of teams that are trying to contend for a cup. Put him on Colorado. Where does he play?
Well, I think to me, he's a top 9. That's
he's on the third line.
Third line.
Sure.
Doesn't mean he's not a good player, valuable
no slight
player.
on Bobby McMann.
Yeah,
But
depth player, good player.
It's not a slight to Bobby McMann. It's just it's what you're talking about is like, do we overvalue him? Like, if you think you're getting a first for sure, it's like, I don't know. What if we show up next Friday and there's no first happening for Bobby McMann? I think you still have to make the trade regardless, if it's a second or whatever. But
it could be a second and a third, whatever it is, or it could be, you depending on what the package is. This is the stuff that I heard even today in talking to some people. Keep in mind, there's a lot of teams that are probably going to be shuffling the deck and moving players around. Currency is contracts too. So a team that wants to get player X, well, they might have we'll call it quote unquote bad contract that they have to package in that deal to make it work financially. So you might get a player in a Bobby McMann trade that is going to be here the rest of this year. But it's like, we got to make the numbers work.
Yeah, you need the contract. You need
Right.
something expiring that you can just, say be gone.
That's
next
fine
year.
because the Leafs again aren't going to go to the playoffs. So go ahead.
Right, so
take on whatever you got to take on.
You got to take on, but again, you got to take a look at what if you can get a first. Let's just say out of McMann, it might be because you're taking back money and a bad a contract that needs to clear it up and all of that type of stuff. There's going to be some wild things I think happen. Again, I've been saying.
Yeah,
I'll
believe it
every
when
year,
I see
Brian.
it. But
yeah, but
I think
do
Leaf
think.
fans. I guess what I'm getting to is there's a perfect world where you clear out 20% of the roster. That's not going to happen. Max Domi and Morgan Rielly aren't being traded by next Friday. Morgan Rielly's a Leaf as of next Saturday.
I think those are off-season situations.
Yeah, if you can. And again, with Rielly, it's particularly delicate because he's been a great Leaf. He's been here for so long. He's the longest-serving Leaf. He's up there all time in games played, points by a defenseman. He's worn the Leaf with pride. He's been a great Torontonian for a long time.
Yes,
that's it. The fan base very connected to him.
Very
watched
connected
him grow up. Like it's a great story from start to finish. It's just
it's
you're
not
12
as
years
if
later.
And it's not a scenario where people are now reacting to his play, and I don't think they're being unfair. It's not that people are, it's not a run out of town thing. It's his play. He looks very uncomfortable playing every night. Like, I don't know how else to put it. He looks like he knows he's in a really bad place on the ice. And, last night, again, the video coach, who's the team's MVP this year, saved him from this goal ever being in a top 10 blooper list because it didn't count in the end. But that's a wild scene, man. He just blows a wheel and runs in.
Honestly, I feel very bad for him in that situation. Like, Morgan Rielly's a much better player than what he's shown this season. And it just, if even last year, like, I know he was emotional in the exit meeting and said he can be better and will be better. He's such a likable guy. It's just, I watched that and it sucks, man. It sucks to see it go like that for him. He's a better player than that. That's like Benny Hill theme music kind of stuff.
It's really, and it's been going in this direction though for a few years with him. Like it's kind of been tailing off, and I just think he needs a fresh start. I think I think he can play somewhere else. I think he could have an Ekman Larson resurgence. Get out, fresh start, different responsibilities, a different town and team that isn't aware of his whole history and everything. Not that there's anything bad about his history, but the point being is the build-up here in Toronto. I don't know how you salvage it anymore. I don't know how you can rely on him to get back into the good books of the team and everything.
It is like it's a scenario, too, where he's on an island. Like, I don't know. When's the last time he had – was it Tanev? Like, when's the last time he had a stable partner that helped him?
Carlo last year when he arrived.
Yeah.
Like when Carlo got acquired down the stretch, Carlo, I thought, did actually help him.
And you know, it's
but it
hard.
can't always be that's been 13
No.
years of that, Noodles. Well, he needs a partner. It's like,
but
well, man, you're making 7-5. You're a vet. Come on.
You're right, but the thing is that's one thing I think Toronto has always missed. If Morgan's not a number one, which I think a lot of people really believe he's a top pairing guy, but they've never had a top pairing defensive core, you know, to help. Like, Frankie, you could speak to it a lot better than anybody. Like, your partner is somebody you have to rely on, and it's give and go, like, you know, yin and yang.
I've seen the list. Like, I saw it firsthand, right? Like, from whether it was Polak or Carrick or Zaitsev, or then it was Ron Hainsey was the best partner of all. Then it was Luke Shen. Yeah. It was Ilya Lyubushkin. It was, I mean, Cody Ceci at one point. Tyson Barrie. Like, go through the list of guys. There's like, I want to say there's 15 partners that have, you know, had some kind of consistent playing time with Morgan Rielly. It's just that, yeah, maybe they've never had the perfect partner. Maybe Ron Hainsey was the guy at one point, but it's just, yeah, the way it's fallen off, it's hard to see for a guy that has been such a likable and still is a likable guy in this city. But it has. TJ
Brody was a decent pair.
TJ Brody,
yes, Brody was great.
That was good.
So again, we're answering the question. He's had a couple of good, and he was playing well at that point. You know, you could play him beside Cale Makar. It's not changing what he's doing right now. I'm sorry. It's a Morgan Rielly issue. It's not a deep partner, and it may be a systems thing. You know, the whole season's in a bad place. Right. It just he's in a bad place, man. Every night it's a real struggle.
Yeah, I also think. I mean, that my point was that maybe he's miscast. Maybe he's better off in a second pairing. And, you know, not up against other teams' best, you know, that where at this point.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
That's
right?
very true. I don't think they have a top pairing defenseman. That's a problem right now, clearly. Like they don't have anyone that's playing like a top pair. They have a lot of 4s, 5s, and 6s, and that's why they're in the trouble they're in.